Yo, sorry for the wait, but we are back with episode 3 of What If Yoda Found Darth Maul Before Palpatine Did. Right? So let's go ahead and do the summary of what happened last time. It's going to be real quick. So Qui-Gon Jinn tells Maul and the Council that he believes the Sith have returned. And while the Council has their doubts, Maul believes Qui-Gon and decides to travel to Naboo to aid the Jedi Master alongside his Padawan Obi-Wan. But by the time he arrived, he was too late, and Qui-Gon was slain by another Zabrak wielding a double-bladed red lightsaber. Maul was able to save Obi-Wan from this unknown Sith, but the Zabrak escaped, and Qui-Gon's last words to the young Jedi was for them both to train Anakin together because he was the chosen one. Right? Maul attends the funeral of his old friend, replaying the former events that transpired, and it ends with Maul glancing at the young Anakin Skywalker. Alright, so that's the summary for that, so let's get into it. Which brings us back to the current episode, episode 3 of this series. So let's keep going. So, Anakin trains with Obi-Wan Kenobi just like he did canonically. But this time, the young Skywalker also had Maul as his second mentor in this timeline. While Obi-Wan was more loose with his apprentice, Maul was stricter, especially when it came to training with the lightsaber. And because of this, Anakin excelled even faster than he would have normally at his age. Like Maul, Anakin had an inner darkness within him. And this made the Zabrak form a sort of bond with his student, and Anakin admired his master because, like himself, they were both prodigies of their age group, and he also learned that Maul was also once bullied by his classmates at his age for his appearance, while Anakin was being bullied because of his age. He was older than the other younglings. Right? By the time Anakin had become a young man, he now wielded 2 lightsabers instead of one blue and one green, the same colors as the blades of his 2 masters, and Maul could see that Skywalker was special in the Force. But over the years, Maul never forgot about the other Zabrak with the red lightsabers, and often meditated on the mystery of this individual. Eventually, over this time skip, Maul is granted the rank of Jedi Master by the Council. And while all of that was going on, Savage Opress was learning the ways of the Sith from his master, Sidious, who had some new plans for their future. Palpatine planned for Count Dooku to be seen by the Jedi as the Sith Master, while Savage would fall in line and act as if he was the apprentice to Count Dooku. So the Jedi would believe that they had already found the Sith Master and apprentice, while Sidious remained the real Dark Lord in the shadows, pulling all the strings. Savage was displeased with this plan because he hated Dooku and didn't want to work alongside him, but Palpatine gave him no choice in the matter, so the Zabrak had to swallow his disgust and play along. And this brings us to the Star Wars Attack of the Clones saga. Maul bids Anakin and Obi-Wan farewell when they are tasked with protecting Padme. And later, Maul is surprised when Anakin calls his master to check on his mother on Tatooine, and Maul agrees with the request because Anakin seemed very concerned, so he sends his master the coordinates. Maul arrives at the planet Tatooine. He exits his ship and wanders into nearby coordinates and can see smoke in the background of certain houses. Maul helps people who are being attacked by Tusken Raiders in this area and realizes he has to hurry if he wants to aid Anakin's mother before it's too late. The Zabrak cuts through Raiders like a red blur and marches towards his intended direction. Night falls, and Maul is face to face with the remaining raiders of this clan who have captured people in the area, and Maul gives them the chance to walk away, but they refuse the Jedi's request. So Maul ignites his green dual blades once again and cuts through the raiders in a battle, kicking up dust as his green blades dance on the battlefield. The desert goes quiet as the last raider in the area is pierced through the chest, and Shmi Skywalker and others were saved by the Zabrak Jedi. And Shmi offers Maul a place to rest for the night, and he agrees, and they talk about Anakin that night and how far he had grown as a Jedi. The day comes, and Shmi is grateful for Maul's intervention, and the Jedi Master hangs around for a little while just to be sure she is safe, until he is summoned to the planet Geonosis, when the assault is beginning to start. We have now arrived to the Battle of Geonosis. We make it to the scene where Obi-Wan and Anakin face off against the fallen Jedi, Count Dooku. Anakin is incapacitated by Force lightning, and Obi-Wan is injured in the process. But in this timeline, Maul is the one to show up to aid the wounded warriors and ignites his emerald blade as he is faced with the betrayal of his former colleague he once respected, wondering why Count Dooku had fallen to the dark side. Maul grits his teeth before asking Count Dooku what is the meaning of this and why is he doing all this, and the Count tells his old friend that the Republic is corrupt and the Jedi are useless in repairing the galaxy's real damages, and Maul is left angry by this sentence. Maul ignites both of his blades and begins an expert duel with the Count, and they waltz around the room countering each other with ease because they were familiar with each other's forms of lightsaber combat. Dooku was more elegant with his strikes, and Maul was more athletic. And the battle was almost even until Maul heard the sound of another lightsaber igniting and turned to see his former Zabrak opponent that had killed Qui-Gon approach from behind. But before he could third party the clash, Anakin got his bearings and ignited his blue and green lightsabers to defend his battling master. Now the exchange was now a 2v2, and the room was lighting up like a rave as they battled each other. Anakin held his own against the Zabrak, while his master continued his engagement with the Counts. And the Jedi were met with another advantage when the Grand Master of the Order, Yoda, had finally arrived. Dooku knew that they must retreat because they were overrun and looked to Savage and said, "We must disengage, my apprentice." And Maul pursued, wanting to destroy the Sith before they could cause any more damages to the galaxy. But the Count sent debris towards Obi-Wan, which made him defend, which gave them an opening to retreat. Besides, their work was now done because the Jedi would now believe that they had found the two Sith lords they were looking for, and they would believe that they had found their identities. Maul aided Obi-Wan and the fight was now over, so Maul needed details on the situation, but thought that it could wait because Obi-Wan was in need of medical attention. So after all that, Anakin was brought before his mother, who was still alive due to Maul's intervention, and was left with gratitude, and Maul made a note of Anakin's strong attachments for his mother, and thought it could be a troublesome issue down the road if unchecked, but he would let it go for now. When they arrived back at the Jedi Temple, Maul told Anakin that he could tell him things whenever, and if he needs help, to be sure to ask him for guidance. Anakin makes a note of that, having seen him as a confidant after what he had done for the young Jedi with the issue of saving his mother. Maul listened to Obi-Wan tell Yoda that Dooku Obi-Wan. Sorry about that. Maul listened to Obi-Wan tell Yoda about everything Dooku had told him. While Yoda dismissed Dooku's words, Maul had his doubts, but refused to speak them up at the moment, choosing to remain quiet. But he thought to himself, what if Dooku was right, and there was another Sith part of the Republic? Or what if he was simply lying? He didn't know. After all, the Sith could not be trusted, but he didn't want to rule it out all just in that moment. Obi-Wan listened to his master, believing that Yoda would know best, of course. But Maul was uncertain. After all, some things didn't make sense. How could Dooku be that Zabrak's apprentice, considering the fact that their fighting styles were nothing alike? Dooku fought with grace, and that Zabrak fought with savagery and ferocity, something Dooku disdained. Something just seemed to be missing from this puzzle, but Maul couldn't figure it out just yet. And that's where we're going to end this episode. Comment down below your thoughts, and also give out some suggestions if you want to in the comments for the story's progression. And don't forget to leave a like on the video. I'm going to go ahead and get up on out of here. Peace.